CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychological black on firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and I'm live tonight on the Fly Nubian Queen on Constance Carter. And I got some game for you guys tonight, and I'm so excited to be talking to you about this. But before, as you come in, and I know we have people that tune in from all over the world, I want you to put it in. You know, every time I talk to you, this is a dialogue and not a monologue, so I want you to talk back to me. And talk black to me. So as you're coming in, put where you are hailing from, where you're watching from in the comments box so I can shout you out and acknowledge you. And I see hundreds and hundreds of people are already on. So thank you. But I want to know where y'all at. I see Lavonda and 18 Speed and George Trusty and Rigger All Black. What's happening, good people? As you're coming in, put where you're from in the comments. And again, subscribe to the Fly Nubian Queen. Make sure you subscribe to Constance Carter. CC the CEO is my YouTube. Listen, I got about 2 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you go over there, go over to YouTube and follow me so I can get my engagement up. I can get my followers up so I can get more than 2 people viewing my little videos. But go ahead and follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube at CC the CEO. Also, make sure you follow me at I am Constance Carter on Instagram and on Facebook. Okay? So what's up? I just want to shout you out. Pick up the sword. Why you say what the F? So Cynthia is from Fluggerville, Texas. What's up, Cynthia? Who else we got? We got Ronnie from Ohio. What's happening? We got Ladybug from Arlington, Virginia. William, you from Chicago. What's happening? Saint from Dallas, Texas. What's happening? We got Michelle from the heart of Missouri. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. What's up, Jess Cat from Houston? All right, so you guys come on in, make yourself at home. I see a lot of you guys here because this is something that you really need to know. Listen, these Instagram gurus, these Facebook gurus, all these people told y'all, get your LLC. And so many of you guys ran to get your LLC because y'all thought y'all was going to get rich. Got your LLC. You said on social media, I got my LLC. Everybody's like, yeah, you're going to be rich. And you ain't made no money off your LLC. But it's okay because it's the start of a foundation of you building your business. And listen, I love that for y'all. I love the fact that you went out and you got your LLC because you want to conduct business. You want to build wealth. You want to change your community. You want to leave a legacy. You want to build an inheritance, all that good stuff. And I love that for you. But since you guys have done this, the federal government has put something in place to make sure that, I don't know. What do you guys think? We're going to talk about it, but I don't know. Do you think it's to keep people like you out? Is it to keep Black people out? Is it to keep small businesses out? What is it for? That's what I want to know. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight. We're going to discuss this new bill that's coming into play January 1st. And check this out here. This could be thousands upon thousands of dollars that you will owe the federal government if you don't get your ass in compliance. So by a show of hands, just put a little hand wave in the comments. I want to know, do you have an LLC or some type of entity? Put in the comments. I want to know because I'm here to tell you so that we can help you. We want to get you straight. We want to keep you in business. We want you to start making some money. Listen, with the power of the internet, we have more technology in the palm of our hands than when they put the man on the moon 50 years ago. You have access to do anything. They've made it with the internet so that you have access to do anything. So now you don't even have to worry about, those barriers that got in the way of you becoming an entrepreneur. It's beautiful. You don't got to ask somebody for credit. You don't got to have no brick and mortar. You don't have to do all of these things in order to become a business owner. You get your LLC, you can start online, you can start making money right away. There's so many things that you can do. There's so many business ideas. But there's something, I don't know, might be sinister in place to keep small businesses or maybe even people like you from getting in the game. And I see Hulu said, I lost mine. You didn't pay them fees, did you, Hulu? I see Saint got an S Corp. Empress got one. Who else got one? Dolan, I do, but I'm not using it. Yeah. Max got one. Nurse J, she got one too. So you need to have this information because something's getting ready to come down the pipe that's going to affect you, me, and all of us small people. So I want to bring Miss E Luxury on because she has her finger on the pulse and she actually has a resolution, a solution for a lot of us. And I'm excited because we had a conversation about this a week ago and she's super passionate about it. And she wants to educate the masses, especially people that look like you, because we are the ones that are not being protected. We're the ones that they say 80% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. 90% of African-American businesses fail within the first 5 years. And it seems like some people say, I ain't really saying it, that they setting us up to fail, but I don't want to. So I want you, again, to talk back to me, talk black to me. I want to make sure that you're asking questions. So you have an expert here on this new compliance, on this new law. I want you to ask plenty of questions because I want to make sure that we give you thorough information and you walk away knowing everything, knowing your rights, knowing your responsibilities. Because what I don't want for you to have is I don't want you to be going into bankruptcy court because you can't pay these fees. So Miss E Luxury, her name is Elaine Isley. She's an entrepreneur. She's a beauty business expert. She's a real estate investor. She's an entrepreneur. And she's here. And she's going to talk to you about getting your shit in order. We got to get you in compliance. So here she is. What's up? What's up? What's up? Can I call you today? Can I call you Elaine or do I got to call you E Luxury? What do I call you?
Whatever feels natural. That's fine with me.
So check this out. Me and Elaine, we met months ago at an event. A popular DJ, Easy Street, was having an event in DC, and Easy's a great guy. He's a great DJ, and he happened to invite me out. He does some things for kids. E Luxury or Elaine was actually doing some financial literacy. She was speaking in front of the kids, and I met her. I was really impressed with what she had to say, and we became fast friends. And so I'm so excited to have her here because she has a passion for people. You know, she's an investor right here in DC. She is a DC native, like DC through and through. She was telling me the difference between like the DC people. And, like I'm still trying to figure all this shit out. But Lane knows it all. But more importantly, you know, she has her finger on the pulse on all these different things, specifically this that's going to keep Black people in compliance. And this is what I want for us. So let's talk about it. So tell what is this new sinister plan that the government has to shut down Black people? What is it? What's going on?
Okay. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we have to get ahead of this. So essentially what the government has said is we want to know if you have an LLC, we want to know your name, address, anybody associated with your LLC, anybody that's made money from your LLC, anybody that's filed a piece of paper from your LLC. And that could be anything from your organizing documents to your tax documents. So there's this huge kind of catch-all net that the government is throwing out, specifically targeting LLCs, because as we know, an LLC is essentially a pass-through entity, right? You still have to claim it as personal on your income and on your taxes. Even in an S corp, you can you still have to acknowledge that you have the entity, right? So the purpose or the reason that they're doing this is during the pandemic, doing the whole EIDL, doing the whole like Instagram craze, the PPP, and the Instagram craze of people like, go get your LLC, and then boom, you're a business person. We also had some people who were not getting LLCs for the right reasons. And those reasons being to funnel foreign monies in to buy real estate, to start businesses.
Well, let me ask you a question though, Elaine. Were those people who had small businesses, were they people like us that were getting this money?
Listen, great question, because that is the whole point, right? You want the big guys. That is actually one of the exemptions in the CTA is if you have less than 5 million in gross receipts, then you are qualified and you are required to report after January 1st.
Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. So you mean to tell me this CTA, this Transparency Act, was implemented to stop the people who are doing money laundering, which is more than likely the people who are making $5 million or more,
Exactly.
but they are targeting the small business. So it sounds like a contradiction, or it sounds like an excuse to go after small businesses to me.
That's exactly what it is. Call a spade a spade. I mean, from our Etsy shop owners to our Shopify to our Big Cartel to our shop online, your Instagram class. Not the majority of those small businesses are not in the $5 million gross receipt range. So what population and what demographic does that impact most? Us, people who look like us. And not only does it impact us, nobody's sharing the information. No one's getting the forms out there. Nobody's getting your links. Nobody's giving your compliance. Nobody's doing that. So essentially, January 1st is going to come and boom.
So let me ask you a question. So for the people who are watching, for those of you who have your LLCs, did you know about this compliance, this Corporate Transparency Act compliance before today? Did you already know about it? Because you have LLCs, it's $500. Wait, because I don't think we talked about the money. And I'm gonna let you say how much they about to charge the people that look like you and the people that look like me. How much they about to charge us?
So for the first 30 days that you don't report is $1,000. Every day afterwards is $500 a day.
Stop. So 30 days. So January 30th, if you have not filed for this, it's $1,000. Starting February 1st, you will be fined and charged $500 per day. I want to stop right there. Now, the people that are watching right now, this is so important because not only are you affected, your people are affected. I need you to share this live right now. I want you to send this link to everybody you know, because everybody, people that look like you and people that look like me, minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses, the people who we just trying to make it. We just trying to make it happen. We're the ones that are going to be affected. They're supposed to be going after the big fish, but they're going after us. So I need you to stop, and I need you to share this right now with everybody you love, because people, I don't know, sound like they out to get us. So $1,000 first 30 days, and then $500 every single day that we don't file. Now, what is the purpose of this Corporate Transparency Act?
So again, LLCs are created. So when we get it above that 5 million, a lot of people who are doing money laundering, they set up LLCs to use it as a pass-through for a larger holding company. And what it does is it avoids them having to identify where the money is coming from. So any of us that have ever paid cash, like for a $50,000 real estate transaction, or you've done bank financing, and they have a set of documents and they'll say, oh, these are disclosures, right? So that's what the government is asking now. We want you to disclose if you own this LLC, if you are making over $1,000 in this LLC, and you are no longer able to say, oh, I'm owned by a parent company, or I'm owned by a holdings company, or even a trust, because now you have to disclose the trust as well.
So what about anonymity that we once had when filing for our entities? Because that was the purpose in some instances. Now in California, you don't have no anonymity. But if you get a LLC in Delaware or Wyoming or Nevada, there's no more anonymity.
No, Delaware, Wyoming, Idaho, Nevada, all of those places that we intentionally set up our LLCs to have anonymity we won't be protected there anymore, because the government is also requiring the Secretary of State to disclose who set up an LLC. So essentially, I mean, it's a really, really, really aggressive push, and obviously like a total invasion of privacy, right? Because we know who is going to fall in this net, who's going to be captured in this net of like, give us all this information, right? That includes inactive. So even if you've been filing your annual report, if you've been filing your biannual report and you're not doing any business through the LLC, they want to know who you are, not your business address. They want your home address, your date of birth, your social security number, and anyone related to the LLC. This is their effort saying, oh, we want to make sure that, we don't have foreign nationals buying too much land or foreign nationals buying up real estate. We know that's not the case, right?
We know it's really an excuse to invade our privacy, because now
Exactly.
Big Brother is in every aspect of our lives. If not now, then more than ever before, Big Brother is watching us. There's nothing that we can do. I mean, we know we own the grid in every single way, and at least in corporations, because here's the thing about corporations and entities. Here's the thing about entities is that it was established for people who were more wealthy. They were able to get certain tax benefits, certain breaks, certain anonymity, certain things passed through so that they can operate, because those are the people who have the power in this country. Y'all black asses start getting them damn LLCs during COVID, and y'all changed the game for everybody. And basically, now there's no more anonymity. That's going out the window.
Exactly.
Come on now. So it is totally an invasion of privacy. We already know that it's gangster shit. We know that, it's already been happening. We know that we are controlled by gangsters. We know this. So what types of provisions can we take in order to prevent this from happening to us?
Okay. So there are some exemptions. Okay. There are 23 of them. And some of us might be aware of this if you're in particular industries. Okay. So your company is exempt from reporting if you have a nonprofit, if you have anything that requires you to be regulated by the SEC. So if your stocks, if your mortgage lender, if you are in finance and banking, if you are an insurance broker, anything that's regulated and requires those beneficial ownership reporting through the SEC and FINRA provisions, then you can claim your business is exempt. There are not many of us that have those businesses that still meet the $5 million gross receipt. So on top of the business or the service of your business, the additional requisite has to be met. So if you're in the insurance industry, financial industry, in addition to the $5 million gross receipt or a nonprofit, then you're exempt from reporting. Anyone that does not meet those requirements or those provisions, you are what they call a domestic reporting company.
Is this for all entities? Is this for corporations as well?
This is for all entities.
So it's not just your LLCs, it's your S Corps, it's your C Corps, it's everything, every entity that's out there.
Yes. And to your point, we know that the corporations have a different infrastructure. So you have shareholders and you have minutes and you have an operation that is regulated by the state corporations, right? Those corporations are mainly funded by a holding company or a parent company that's injecting capital so for the business to run. Those are the guys that have the attorneys and the accountants and the financial advisors to find the loopholes in this. The businesses that don't are the LLC pass-throughs, the S Corps, the smaller businesses. So it's an obvious contradiction of what the goal of the CTA Act is. So that's why we need to get ahead of it and make sure that our community, our people are, aware of this, that we help and get them the resources that they need to get compliant.
So do you think it's better for people who have LLCs, should they just cancel them or should they comply? Because I know a lot of people are like, well, shit, I don't use it anyway. I ain't really doing nothing. And first of all, a lot of you that have gotten your LLCs and your entities over the last couple of years, number one, have you been paying your fees? Because y'all got these LLCs, and a lot of y'all ain't even paying y'all fees. A lot of y'all is not even, y'all inactive anyway. But you still got to pay them damn past due fees. But should they just close the LLCs, or should they keep them open and just comply? Like, what do you think would be the best way to approach it?
That's a great question. And I want to disclose this is not legal or financial advice. But those are the options. Okay. I would take a look at what your tax professional or your accountant, if you have one, if you do not have one, I would take a look at what your net profits, what your gross sales are. If you are not running a profitable business, if you have not used the LLC at all, and it is an expense and you don't have any intent of doing anything with it, you do have the option to dissolve. Right. And I think that we will see a large percentage of entities dissolve. And again, guess what? That comes with a fee, right? So even if you want to close out your business, send in your final tax report, guess what? The feds want to know about it, the states want to know about it, and you want to pay your dissolving fee. But I will say this, I really encourage everyone to think about what are your goals? Like, what is your intent? What are you going to do with this LLC? Have you been hitting those milestones? Have you actually gotten your product off the ground? Have you gotten your service off the ground? Whatever your LLC operation is, are you using it? And if you don't plan to use it, then you might want to look at dissolving it and reforming when you're ready, because otherwise you are going to be subject to complying with the CTA.
Even when you have an LLC, though, guys, because we are trying to start our businesses, a lot of us aren't even running our businesses correctly. And the whole purpose of having an entity, an LLC or corporation, is to protect yourself, is to limit your personal liability. A lot of us aren't limiting our personal liability. There's a thing that's called piercing the corporate veil. And what piercing the corporate veil means, it means that if you are commingling your funds, if you are acting as your corporation as a person, if you're using your corporation as your own personal, like it's you, because it's a separate entity, right? So say you have a business and you're commingling funds and you got stuff going there, you go into Sally's and I'm gonna keep it real. When I first got my corporation, I had to grow and learn this. But you would see Sally stuff on my bank statements. You would see, I had to go get my yaki and all that to get my hair done. I was not in compliance and had the IRS, and this is over 20 years ago, so I'm beyond that time. But had I been audited, I could have risked my corporate veil protection being pierced. And so what happens is, if you file bankruptcy as a entity, so say somebody sues you, like they sue your business, that doesn't affect you personally because you have an entity established that's going to protect you. Or they sue you, your entity, your business is not going to be affected because, of course, you're limiting your liability. Okay. But if you pierce the corporate veil, if you are commingling funds, if you're acting as the same person, if should something happen and they look at your business and it's not really run like a business, then you shit out of luck anyway. So you have to make sure that you're running your business like a business. That's extremely important. And I actually have a business blueprint training on mywealthroadmap.com that will show you how to make your business too legit to quit. So if you go to mywealthroadmap.com, you can take my business blueprint training. I not only tell you how to set up your entity, set up your business, set up your infrastructure. I tell you how to make sure that it's legit and it's compliant. And I show you how to get funding, and I show you how to pay yourself with limited funds so that you can start buying real estate. So it's a really great training, but I just want to make sure that you have that information out there, because while these gurus went out and told you to go out and get your LLCs, y'all got the shit and it ain't done right. And you make sure that your LLCs, that you're in compliance. If we're building foundations, we need to make sure we build solid foundations. I was just talking to somebody about Sophia Russo, and I don't know if you've heard of her, but she built Nasty Gal. And I was speaking at Facebook a few years ago, and she was there speaking also. And she was talking about how she made like $50 million or something like that. It was crazy. She had a clothing line, and she just shot up really quick. And then she ended up filing bankruptcy like 2 years later. To go from $50 million to end up filing bankruptcy. You know why? Because her entity was not set up. She didn't have the proper foundation. And this is a blonde hair, blue eye lady, so they have a little bit more access to some resources than we do. We just need to make sure. And I want to make sure that you guys, if you are setting up these LLCs, make sure you're doing it the right way. Make sure you're in compliance. Make sure that all the reporting is done like it's supposed to be done. If you're a corporation, you need to have your minutes. You need to have everything's set up the way it's supposed to be set up. So don't just go out there and get an LLC and expect that you're going to just get rich. Make sure you're doing it and you're actually running viable businesses so that you can really grow and build generational wealth. I just had to get on that soapbox real quick because I just love Black people so much, Elaine. I want them to do right because I've seen so many trifling ass businesses, and Keith Lee highlighted, some of our Black owned businesses in Atlanta and how we was half-assed, and I just want us to do better. I'm gonna always do business with Black people first, but I want to make sure that the business that we're doing, we ain't doing business, we doing business. It's extremely important.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to get on my soapbox real quick on that.
No, that's all good information. And I think it's important. These conversations need to happen more often. And that's clearly what you're doing, and just, Yes, like and share this, because this is going to catch a lot of people off guard. I see some people in the comments saying people are going to be caught off guard by this. They will. And like I said, this is your, your college kid that's making her Etsy products and selling her earrings and selling her shirts on Etsy, that is going to be required to report. This is grandma who is using the Etsy shop as her supplemental income. So these this size of a business, like, we don't have an attorney on staff, right? We go get an attorney when you need one. You go get an accountant when you need one. So, that $10,000 retainer doesn't really apply to smaller businesses. This is just going to be a piece of information that flies over the main population that it impacts. So it's really important to get this out. Go and grab the wealth map. Go and, follow Constance's guide when we're talking about how you set up your corporation, right? It is so important that we don't just grab the EIN and grab the LLC and think we're in business. There are compliance items that you need to do to maintain the business, right? So that you can use that business to create more assets or acquire more assets, and I just wanted to share this really quick. I think about my time as a stylist, right? And I think about those years where we didn't have pay stubs and we didn't have W-2s. And when we started making, a good salary, like, we weren't reporting that on the taxes because we were in fear of, like, oh my God, how much taxes I'm gonna have to pay. But when it was time to buy something, guess what? That $30,000 that we report on the taxes is not enough for a mortgage, right? So it's so important for us to share the information because that takes the fear away, right? There's a lot of things to deal with the IRS, and we talk about finances and we talk about compliance. It sounds scary. We start talking about words that we start using words that we don't exchange with each other on a daily basis. So it is critical. It is critical that we share our resources. It is critical that you have a mentor, someone that's going to coach you, like your cohort. Like, it is important for us to be a part of those groups. So what you don't know, you can be a part of a community that's going to give you that information so you can grow your business. So you're not just like, you got this piece of paper, you got your brand, you got your logo, but what can you do with the business if it's not scaling, if it's not profitable? And for it to be profitable, you have to, follow some compliance items. I feel like people, they get us.
When you know better, you do better. And that's just the bottom line. And so we got to start doing better because we have the knowledge and the information. We know better. Do HTTP. Somebody said the website wasn't working. Let me do HTTP, I think, to HTTPS:// So it's, I think when you just do www, it don't work. But that's the business blueprint training that will show you how to make your business legit. And this, when I tell you how important this is, Elaine, again, I love us and I want the best for us. And I want us to be able to build generational wealth. But let me ask you this. Is there a solution for this issue?
Absolutely. So right now we are actually setting up a portal and a dashboard that will connect directly to what they call FinCEN, is the BOSS system, right? So the feds are creating their own database
What's
for
FinCEN?
us to report.
What's FinCEN?
Go.
I'm sorry, what's FinCEN?
The Financial Crimes Unit. So that's who is monitoring this entire process, right? Because essentially this is a task force, right? So the Treasury and the IRS formed a task force, and it's the FinCEN unit.
And they coming after y'all black asses.
So the FinCEN unit is going to have. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just said they coming after y'all black asses. Am I delayed?
It was a little bit, but no, seriously. No, this is a this is a real thing, and I want people to hear this information, and I want to tell everybody. As of yesterday, they just issued a new provision. So they are rolling this stuff out constantly. There's not even a final set up. We don't have fenced in identifiers yet. We don't have access to the portal. And what my company is doing, CTA compliance now, what we're doing is we're setting up a portal for everyone, right? So you go to the portal.
Quick, before we go there, I'm sorry. Somebody said, I'm a truck driver, owner, operator. How does that affect me?
Truck driver, owner, operator, are you reporting as a sole proprietor? Have you formed an LLC?
So basically, if you're a sole proprietor, what happens?
If you're a sole proprietor, then you are not required to report. You have to be an entity. This is for entity only.
So if you're LLC, a corporation, or S corp, this will affect you. I don't care what you do. If you're a truck driver, if you're a hairdresser, if you have a business on Etsy, if you have one on Shopify, if you have a real estate company, if you have an entity, then this will affect you, period. No matter what capacity that you're in. If you're anything other than a sole proprietor, it will affect you.
Yes.
Dang, Empress, why you gotta say it like that, Empress? Look, Empress is gonna kill the man's dream. She said robots taking over 18-wheelers. Like, dang, come on, like, get a man a chance. Hey,
AI is real.
Man while he's down. I'm sorry. Go ahead, girl. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. But just I don't want to create a panic for everyone, right?
No,
so
but
there are some
no. I think you should be creating a panic, because if they talking about charging us $1,000 and then $500 a month, they should panic. Don't act like
$500 a day.
$500
a day.
Yeah. So we should be panicking. We should be taking action. What were you saying? Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, it was delayed. I'm looking at the comments. The Biden administration was next level and not in a good way. Just cat. Patriot Act, Bob. This is like Patriot Act 4.0 on steroids, right? The FOIA Act. Anyone that's working in the legal field, that's working in Social Security, knows that the FOIA and the Patriot Act have protected us somewhat for up until now. And so, yes, the government now is just like, hey, we want to know if y'all Black folks making money and how much you making, and are you giving it to your kids, and are the kids on the payroll? Because guess what? Here's another piece to this. When we set up our businesses and we are using our children to pay them and write that money off, guess what? That child, that person, that body is considered what they call a beneficial owner or influencing part of the entity. And what that means is, if this person has 25% of the 5% of interest in the business, they are required to report as well. Okay, so all of the things that we used before, the trust and employing our children,
all the things you learn on Instagram. Yeah, all the things you learn on Instagram, right? You do the trust, then you do the LLC, they like breaking all that down. Everything that got to do. So
everything.
They're saying Kindred is like, okay, can we please hear about your portal? Because I'm sorry, I interrupted you on the portal piece. Yes. So he said, can we please hear about the damn portal?
No, sure. So what we're doing is we're setting up, the portal is going to be at CTA compliance now. Okay. What we're doing is we're setting up the prerequisite questions, right? So this is going to be drop your contact. You'll be able to log in and answer some prerequisites to see entity. Okay. If you do qualify, I'm sorry,
you pause a little bit at the end of that.
Okay, so we'll have prerequisites. So our plan is to like walk you through this step by step, right? And there are going to be prerequisite questions that ask you about the nature of your business, ask you about the function of your business, when it was established, who is actually on your articles of organization or your certificate of formation, and then take you to the next step of, are you a domestic reporting entity and what you need to do. We'll also be able to get you in the BOSS network, which is the beneficial owner system that the FinCEN is setting up. Right now, they do not have anything set up for us. They don't have anything set up to go out as a mass communication for the states. So this is why
Who don't have anything set up for us?
The Fed does not
But
have.
y'all gonna start charging motherfuckers in January though. They ain't got
Yes.
nothing set up, but we letting y'all know that even though y'all ain't heard about this and we ain't got nothing set up, be prepared to get taxed. Sounds about right.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
And what that means, yes, and what that means is liens. You know, they'll be able to enforce this the same way they enforce liens. That means your property, your bank levies on your bank account, because the LLC is a pass-through. So this is not something that we want to put aside. This is not something that we want to deprioritize. We want to get in front of this. We want to get, you know, as many people that need our help to even understand what is happening. Understand if your entity is required to report, or are you going to dissolve. We're getting that set up so you can go to CTA compliance now, answer the prerequisite questions, be notified or made aware if you are required to report, and then collect the information that you need to report, and we get it over to BOSS for you. They have not even determined if this is going to be an annual reporting filing. So as of right now, this is a one-time reporting filing. Anything after January 1st, you will have 30 days to become compliant. 30 days. So after that 30 days, those fines start.
So how easy is this portal to navigate?
I mean, it's really straightforward. Email, name of your entity. There is going to be some very personal information. Everything is secure there. There's going to be some personal information. It's going to ask you about the person who filed your docs, the person who actually submitted the formation docs to the Secretary of State. That person will need to disclose their home address.
Wait, though. Before we go there, though, because I'm looking at the website right now. It's right now you're just asking them for their address so that you can follow up with them?
Yes. Okay. Yes. You just want your email, because if you, like the gentleman or the person who's a truck driver, if you are not a person that needs to report, obviously we want to be able to give you a ping back and say, hey, your entity or, you know, your business doesn't require you to report. So right now, drop your email, drop your contact, how you can be reached, how your entity can be reached. And those of you who set up a registered agent, okay, your registered agent is not responsible for this. Okay, so make sure we have, when you go to the portal, that you're using an email that you can receive, because the registered agent is not required to comply, and most likely are going to pass the liability of compliance back to the company.
Okay, so this question, Shoshana said, to my previous question, if an American citizen living in another country, will the LLC rules apply to this U.S. citizen's business? If the business is set up in the U.S., then yes. If it's in any of the 50 states, correct? So I don't care if you're living outside of the country. If your business is registered in these United States, you will be affected by this. Why did you decide to do this? What made you? Because I remember you called me and you were like, Constance, you know what's going on. And like, for me, it sounded like you really had a passion to help the people. What made you decide, you know what, I want to take action. I want to get in front of this. Because it sounded like you tell me.
Because I'm a small business owner. I started as an entrepreneur all the wrong ways, you know, and being behind the chair, not having my accounting set up, not having, a tax professional, not having my finances set up. All of these things were things I learned along the way from engaging and networking with people who had those things established, networking with people who were running larger businesses. And so I need to pay it forward, and I need to help us, because this is going to impact our community. This is going to impact so many of my friends. This is going to impact so many of our family members in a way that could significantly change what Black wealth looks like in the next 2 to 5 years if we don't get in front of this. And so it was important for me, when I'm looking, I'm like, nobody's looking at not many of us are looking at the Federal Register on a regular basis. I just happen to like looking at the Federal Register for things like
she's
this.
like abnormal, because nobody likes looking at the Federal Register.
I'm just,
I don't even know what that is.
So it's essentially where the United States government publishes new rules and laws. It's the central database of the laws that regulate the country. And so I was having a conversation. I was actually working with a friend of mine, getting her mom's Etsy store set up. And we were looking at an article that came out about, the final ruling. The final ruling came out last September. So the final ruling came out, and then this new publication and article talked about the Boss Network. And I'm like, oh my God, they are really doing this. Like, there weren't enough comments. The lobbying should have pushed back on this in a way that this would not be so invasive. And so I guess June or July, when we got the final ruling, the final kind of provisions to go along with this federal rule, I was like, I have to get this out to my people. I have to get this out to our community, because how else are we going to know this? I'm like, how else are we going to get this information?
Boss BO40.
Correct. Yes. It says if you started LLC. I see her question. It says if you started an LLC prior to 2024, you have 1 year to comply. If the LLC is started in 2024, you have 30 days to comply. That is correct.
So does that mean that the fines don't start so what does that mean?
That means if you form after January 1st, February 1st, the $1,000 fine starts. If you formed before January 1st, you have until December 31st, 2024 for your fines to start. So you essentially have 11 to 12 months to get your reporting done.
Okay, got it. So what can they do? They go to CTA compliancenow.com. They put their email address in there. It goes to you. And then what do you do at that point? Then you start to just contact them and send them certain information.
Yes, we will send you updates. As I said, Boss is not even released. They're not accepting. Boss is the database, right? So what we have is our database has an API function that'll plug right into the Fed. Okay. None of that can be done until 12/01 January 1st. Okay. Wow. So what we want to do is, like I said, they issued another publication or rule just yesterday. So what we essentially want to do is start getting everybody informed. If you don't have your docs, if you don't have answers to the questions to know if you're required to report or not, we want to get those questions answered. So when January 1st comes, you can be ahead of getting your compliance file, getting your FinCEN identifier if you're going to need one. And if you're going to do anything in 2024, making sure that you get it reported in that 30 days.
Right.
Absolutely. Also, if you're going to need help with dissolving, we can help with that as well.
Okay, well, that's good. So you help dissolve, you can help get them in compliance. So does that mean since the fines don't start until 2024, does that mean that they should wait to do it?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. And
because that's what I'm thinking people are thinking. Like, okay.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, I got all year to do this.
That's your people. Let me just tell you, that's how your people think.
Wait all.
That's how your people think. I'm just saying.
I know, like I ain't gotta worry about this. Yeah, I ain't gotta worry about this.
No cousins.
I don't have to worry about this. I can get this filed. So what happens is if you go to full 12 months, obviously the state that your business is organized in has to do the same reporting, right? So then there's a probability that you get the audit flag. So that's why
that's what you don't want. Listen, I've been
want to
audited.
get in front of this.
You don't want to be audited
because
you
the Secretary of State has to comply by January 31st, 2024. So that means the Secretary of State in all 50 territories have to report to the Fed how many LLCs they have registered with the state.
And let me tell you something, man. I'm from California. California franchise tax board, the state of California don't play at all. They will audit your ass before anybody else will.
You don't.
So I don't know how DC work. I don't know how New York work. I just know about California. Okay. Yeah, you a little. Well, all I'm saying is I'm from California. I know California will audit your ass in a heartbeat. And I'm not sure about these other states, but I just know if they're talking about they waiting on you to report to the federal government and your ass is taking forever, that can be an audit trigger. You don't want that smoke on your behind. You do not want the smoke of an audit. I've been audited, and I'm telling you right now, you don't want it. So her system is jacked up. But listen, let me tell you this. Go to ctacompliancenow.com and make sure that you look out for an email from CTA Compliance. Make sure it doesn't go to your spam. Make sure you look out for an email from CTA Compliance. Once you sign up, only thing they're asking for right now is your email address because they want to get you set up so that they can help you. And you know what? The reason why I have eLuxury here now is because I love people who love our people. She loves our people. She loves Black people. And anything that we can do to make sure that we are in a better position, I'm here for it. So I appreciate you for what you're doing, Queen. I think that's amazing what you're doing to help the people get their stuff together, get in compliance. This is wonderful. Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Can y'all hear me? She can't even hear me.
Absolutely. Okay. And I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
She hella delayed, y'all. She hella delayed.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you hella delayed.
Can you hear me?
I can.
No.
She hella delayed. But listen, you guys.
I'm a filmmaker and I'm putting out a novel. Do I have to have an LLC? No.
Now, if you want an LLC, remember the main reason why you're getting an entity is to protect yourself. Okay, so it's to protect to limit your personal liability. If this is something that you're going to start making money from and you want a separate entity, there are tax breaks that you receive by having an entity, a corporation, an LLC, an S corp. So that's the reason why you do it. If you're going to make money from it and you want to get some tax benefits from it, then certainly just make sure that you're all the way in compliance. So you don't have to have an LLC. You don't have to have an LLC to run any kind of business. You could run your business, any business as a sole proprietor. Why would you though? You got tax benefits, you have protections, you have corporate protections, you have corporate veil, you have all of those things. Then those are the benefits of you even having these businesses. And you would want to do that, but you just got to make sure that it's done right. And like I said, a lot of times our businesses just aren't done. We just missing the mark. But I really believe in us, and I believe with the power of the information that's out there that we're gonna get it together. I did a TED Talk a couple of years ago, and I talked about the wealth gap, closing the wealth gap, because in 2017, Forbes had an article. There was an article in Forbes magazine that said in the year 2053 that Black median wealth was going to be a 0. And I don't believe it. What's great is during the pandemic, Black wealth increased more than anybody else's. We were the fastest growing when it comes to Black wealth. We got more financially lit. We got more information. We have information online. So we're educating ourselves more. So I don't believe that wealth gap is going to expand. I don't believe that we're going to be a 0. We just got to make sure that we're building our foundations correctly so that we can That's what this is about, right, Elaine? She's still delayed.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. I think am I still delayed? Oh
no,
God,
go ahead.
no. let me
No, you good. You good. You good.
no. Okay. So I think the key word you used was we want we run the consumer market, right? We know that. We run a lot of these markets, but I think the biggest win for us is making sure it is built on a solid foundation, that it is compliant, and that we can actually scale the business. That creativity, that brilliant idea is actually able to be realized through our business. And we do that by being compliant.
That part right there. That's what we need more than anything. But we just need the information. We just need to build on solid foundations. And that's the reason why I love that we have all of this free information. A lot of times we're not necessarily using it the way we need to, but it's here, it's for you, and we do it because we have love for Black people. And so Elaine, I want to thank you for coming on here and explaining. Remember, everyone go to ctacompliance.com and ctacompliancenow.com and start complying. Don't be like your cousins and wait until next year. You do not want no audit trigger. You don't want that kind of smoke in your life. Don't be like, so because I have a feeling, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm watching people say, oh, not until 2024, because they was up in arms at first. And it was like, oh, okay, I can relax. Because that's what we do.
No.
We wait last minute. But what you don't want to do is relax. You don't want to sit back and wait for them to come get you. Here's the thing. We are a reactive people, Black people. And I'm just going to just put it out there. And I don't want to stereotype us or paint us with a broad brush, but a lot of times we are reactive. We don't do things until after it's too late. We got to start acting proactively. We talked about, us being investors rather than consumers. If we were a nation, we will be the sixth largest nation. We have so much power within us. We just need to start accessing our power for greatness. And that's what we need to do. And that's the reason why this stuff is so important, is building on that solid foundation. Right?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Constance. Thank you, everyone, for the engagement, for the questions. I'm happy to answer any more questions if they come up.
How can they reach
elevator
you?
Questions.
How can they contact you on Instagram? Where are you at?
You can reach. I'm on Instagram mostly. You can follow me at eLuxury. But the best way to reach me is to drop an email. And we can correspond there if you have elevator questions about this.
What's your email?
And also, can you hear me?
Can you put your email in the chat in the comments?
I can. I'll drop my email here. liveluxury@gmail.com, because life is about luxury and feeling good and doing good and being good and giving good, right?
I love it. You put
so reach me at liveluxury@gmail.com.
Hold on, you put it in the private chat.
I can't get in your public chat.
Oh, okay. Well, listen.
No, it's all good.
Okay, this is her email address.
Super shout out to you. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And then you said at EL. How do you spell your Instagram? You wait.
At ELUXUREE.
So follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Instagram or shoot her an email right there. Listen, I know there's a lot of Black women on here, and my goal and my mission is to help Black women. And so I have what's called the Net 7 Collective, where I'm helping 100 Black women increase their net worth by $1 million, because I love us so much. Like I said in my TED Talk, I talked about closing the wealth gap, and I really believe women are at the forefront. Doesn't mean that the brothers ain't, but in this situation and circumstances, my passion is helping Black women. So I just want to invite you, if you are interested in the Net 7 Collective, what we do is we help you get your stuff in compliance. I help you set up your businesses. We help you invest your money. We help you invest in real estate. We show you how to create passive income, because the goal is to increase your net worth by $1 million. When you look at us collectively, like I said, they said 2053, our net worth was going to be a zero. I don't believe that. But here's what we can do and be proactive about increasing our net worth. So I just want to invite you to go to bookwithconstance.com. But let me just show you a testimonial.
It has been a privilege and an honor to be part of this cohort. Constance has done an amazing job at placing systems to allow us to understand how to prosper in our businesses. We have strategically taken the time each week to come together to understand how to build a business, how to brand a business, how to use real estate, how to use life insurance. We have bonus days where there are speakers who come and they share their stories and their goals and their successes. We have an accountability coach that I have learned to realize that she really is like a best friend to me. It has been an amazing journey. I have grown so much. Now, all my fears are now my strengths.
Listen, she said all my fears. Let me tell you something. I've seen this before, but I never really heard that last part. All my fears are now my strengths. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. So if you want it, if you're interested, you are a Black woman, or if you know a Black woman, I'm helping Black women. And so I know brothers always say, what about the men? I got something coming up for you. I got what's called the Grow Your Money Club, but I got something coming up for everybody real shortly. I'm going to be rolling it out in a little bit, but this is specifically for Black women. It's a safe space for women to grow, learn, share, and just develop and create bonds. And it's something that we all need, because a lot of us don't have that connection and community of like-minded people who want what we want, to be able to live a life of freedom. And that's what the Net 7 Collective is about. And it is absolutely beautiful what we're getting out of there. We have people who are brand new business owners to Harvard PhDs. We have people my daughter's age, my daughter's in her 20s, all the way to 80, from all walks of life, all over the country. It's absolutely phenomenal. So if you are interested in joining the Net 7 Collective, go to bookwithconstance.com. I have some spots available. I have a few spots available, and the next cohort is starting at the end of this month. So we are running out of spots, and I want to help as many Black women as possible, because guess what? There's an African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. And I really believe that. I believe that we're on the front lines of helping to aid and close the wealth gap. And so I just want to help Black women do that. So anyway, girl, Elaine, you are absolutely the bomb. And I appreciate what you're doing for us.
That's all you.
I appreciate what you're doing for our community. This is great for you to say, because I mean, I'm telling you, y'all, when she called me, she had this concern in her voice, and she was like, I just want to help people. So I can really appreciate that. You know, you're like, listen, we about to get fined $500. Did you know about? And I was like, no, I think I kind of may have heard something, but I really don't know. So all I know is Black people out there getting their LLCs in droves, and now we about to be behind the 8 ball. And so there is a solution. Being informed, number one. Sharing this information out to as many people as you can, number 2. So make sure that you are sharing, you're subscribing, you're liking, but share this information out, and also sign up so that you can get the information, so that Elaine could get you in compliance, so your ass won't be behind the 8 ball getting audited or getting fined, because you know you cannot file bankruptcy on an IRS or a tax lien. Just letting y'all know. Oh, you know that I'll just file back. No, you can't. Not until you pay it off. So it's really important. The work that you're doing is extremely important. Somebody says, Elaine on Facebook. Are you?
No.
She just on Instagram, y'all. She don't do Facebook like the old people. How old are you, Layla? She don't do Facebook.
No, but I'll be there. I'll be there.
All right, y'all. Go ahead. Is there any last words that you want to share with the people?
Just I love us. Let's continue to love on us. Constance, thank you for creating this forum community. And I hope everyone that is engaging here is really absorbing the resources that you are putting out. I'm grateful for it. We were fast friends, but I definitely appreciate you always being a leader and the mentorship and just sharing with your whole heart to get what we need, what we don't have enough of, just getting it out there to the people. So I'm certainly grateful you had me here. I appreciate you, family. Love everybody out there. And yep, looking forward to all of us scaling,
growth,
Yes.
more goals. So don't let this get you down, you guys. This is, yes, this is a trick of the enemy, but guess what? We are a resilient people. I believe in us. I love y'all. I really do. I tell y'all every day, I love y'all for real in real life.